What's good, sports gamers, and today I'm going to be going over with you some tips and tricks you must know across different aspects of MLB The Show 24 to get you right once you hit the field. I'm Chris from Sports Gamers Online, and alright, let's get it. Notice this icon pop up before you pitch. It's your opponent checking your pitch history against that specific batter, if it's the start of their second, third, or fourth at bat against them. And once you're 2-3 pitches deep in the current at-bat, it will show every pitch thrown so far during that at-bat. So they're more locked into a specific location by looking at this, if you are displaying a certain pattern. So you can use this to your advantage as a pitcher. To know when it's time to play matchups or pitch around a certain guy because the next man up sucks, which in Diamond Dynasty means they're probably 85 contact and power. While pitching, you want to hit up on the D-pad to check who your opponent's next 3 batters are, to clue you into whether it's time to get that lefty or righty in the game. In Diamond Dynasty, you get 4 bench spots, so you're gonna want to set it up so it consists of 2 right-handed hitters who smash left-handed pitchers and 2 left-handed hitters who can dominate against righties. Even better if you have a switch hitter in the mix here. Also helps you when you bring in your left-handed hitter and they go, oh yeah, and bring in their left-handed pitcher, you can go ha and swap in your righty and they're stuck. Just because of that, I would also go with the worst of your 2 guys from your desired side to start it off. Also, when you're at the plate early on, take a look at what your opponent's bullpen situation is looking like by hitting up on the D-pad and then go down to opponent's bullpen to see how many left-handed pitchers they have in their bullpen, for example. What if I told you, actually, you probably already know this, but the easiest way to become a better hitter is to take pitches and literally force them to throw a strike. As nobody, unless you're playing the nicest guy ever, is gonna willingly throw you a strike, right? And you're like, I know that, but it's hard. This is true, you're not gonna become Barry Bonds overnight, but there are ways to help increase your plate discipline. First, and what instantly helped me a lot, is focusing on one side of the plate and forming a tunnel the ball must travel through to reach it. So if they have a right-handed pitcher and I have a righty batter, I just sit on anything inside and form a tunnel straight to it, and just hit fastball. This helps me, one, the main focus I do it is to crush inside fastballs, but also filter out any pitch that's not inside, which can be sliders down and away, which are usually thrown for balls, changeups in the dirt that are also thrown for balls, and this can also end up teaching you how high a changeup has to start to still be a hittable pitch, and how long a slider has to stay inside to break away and clip the corner. Putting it all together, you will end up in situations, because of your patience, where your opponent literally has to throw your strike because they loaded up the bases, and you just hope the game doesn't screw you over like in these examples. After each pitch, I want you to seriously take note of what pitch they just threw and how you reacted, as then you can slowly start to put together how they're trying to pitch to you. What pitches are they throwing for strikes? Does he have a slider? This is probably going to be thrown for a ball on purpose a good portion of the time, unless he hangs it. Changeup, probably in the dirt. Sinker, probably high and inside. And then you realize only the fastball is going to be thrown for a strike, and then you can sit on it. You have a guy on first, they're probably going to be aiming down low, so it might be time to lay off those pitches and avoid double plays. You swung at the changeup down in the dirt on the first pitch. Well, it's 2-2 count now, so guess what pitch they're likely to throw here. Once you start taking note of the pitches they have in their arsenal and how they're using them, you can really get into their mind and get ahead of the next pitch. There are other ways during the game where you can predict the next pitch with a high chance of accuracy. One way is after a pitch, if you didn't swing, you're able to tell how well they executed their pitching motion relative to where the ball landed, as this gives you intent. If the fastball was 12 feet above your head and it says their motion was poor, they probably didn't mean to locate it there and may try that same pitch again for you to lock in on. Another way is if you get a hit on the pitcher's off-speed pitch or breaking ball. I've talked about this before, but there's a very high likelihood they're going to throw you a fastball the very next pitch to the next batter. Maybe out of frustration, or the more likely, okay, they just hit that, let me speed up the pitch a bit. Enabling the PCI anchor system in your control settings lets you lock your PCI, which is this thing, into different spots in the strike zone, instead of having it be settled directly in the middle, letting you get to pitches in spots you may struggle with a lot easier by simply moving your left stick to the desired location and clicking in the left stick to lock it there. In MLB The Show 24, there are 3 different types of swings you can choose from in-game. The contact swing, which expands your PCI while sacrificing power, the normal swing, and the power swing, which limits the amount of contact you can make, causing you to miss the ball more while giving you more power, aka exit velocities. But outside of 2-strike situations where the contact swing can be annoyingly beautiful, you're going to want to use the normal swing majority of the time playing MLB The Show. When your opponent has a runner on base and you're afraid of them stealing on you, you can help increase the chances of throwing them out if they do by throwing from the stretch, which you do by holding the left trigger while throwing a pitch. Just be careful your accuracy with the pitch may fail due to the motion required for your selected pitch being much faster than you're used to. So look at the example motion once you select your pitch to get the required speed down before you attempt it. Not 100% of the time method, but you want to try and pitch higher in the zone when they have a runner on third and less than 2 outs to make it harder for them to go home, and lower in the zone when they have a runner on first and less than 2 outs to try and force a double play. You also don't want to be afraid, or not necessarily afraid, but think you need to constantly change your pitch every time. If a hitter's time was really early or late on something, or they're swinging at it when they shouldn't, be willing to double up sometimes if your opponent is showing they can't get proper contact on it. How your opponent reacts to pitches they miss or foul can also clue you into maybe it's not a good time to throw this, and I just got a bit lucky there. Like if they're super early on a Rob Dibble or Felix Bautista heater up and in, they were probably sitting on it or waiting back on that slider away that just went foul. Guys who are patient on the edges early can be open to fastballs down in the corners and cutters or sinkers that nip the corner for a third strike. If you have a runner on base and your opponent throws a wild pitch to the catcher, simply just tap LB or L1 on your controller to automatically send your base runner to the next base instantly. When you attempt to steal second or third, you're going to want to slide away from the tag, so that means hook sliding to the right of the bag and aiming the right stick to the right when you reach the base. When picking players for your lineup, have a look at their clutch rating, as that helps influence the size of their PCI with runners in scoring position. Another rating that's beneficial that you might not be focusing on is the hitter's vision rating, which helps you foul off more pitches on the outer edges of your PCI. In your settings, you can turn off defensive shifts that actually end up doing more harm than good. On double plays and you notice you messed up the first throw to second, simply just skip that and throw to first immediately to cancel that throw. So alright sports gamers, I hope this video was able to help you out, and if you like the content we provide, make sure to subscribe to Sports Gamers Online, and once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. Alright people, I'm Chris, thank you all for watching, and be good y'all.